I'm standing here beside the Stone of Scone, or the Stone of Destiny, one of Scotland's most iconic symbols, and one surrounded by myth and legend. Now, this stone is not the original. The original is in Edinburgh Castle. Or is it? There's a lot of theories about the Stone of Destiny, but I think I'll begin just by giving you a bit of its history. Legend tells us that the stone was the ancient coronation stone of Scottish kings, who sat on the stone for hundreds of years when they were crowned. There are various stories about its origin. One story is that it was brought from Egypt by Pharaoh's daughter, Scotia, Scotland. Another one is that this was in fact Jacob's pillow, the stone against which Jacob rested his head in the Old Testament of the Bible. Whatever, the stone came to Scotland, and when kings were not crowned, they were acclaimed. This is what they sat upon. So a very powerful symbol of kingship. In the 9th century, King Kenneth MacAlpine united the two Scottish tribes of the Picts and the Scots, and he moved the power base from Dalriada in modern day Argyll through to Scone, and he brought with him relics of St Columba and the Stone of Destiny. It remained here for the next 300 years until we had a little bit of a disagreement with our neighbours, the English. During the Scottish Wars of Independence, King Edward I tried to take over control of Scotland, and one of the things he wanted to do was to seize all the emblems, all the symbols of our nationhood, including the stone. Now, according to tradition, Edward I sent an army to Scone, which at that stage was the site of a monastery, where his soldiers took the stone down to Westminster. However, we knew the king was coming, and one of the strong theories, strong legends is that the monks pulled a fast one. They're in the monastery when the English army arrive and they knock on the door. So the monk opens the door, and the English say, "Hello, we are the English army. You'll have come for the stone." "Well, we have actually." So the monk hands over a stone to the army, who march all the way back down to London and present it to King Edward I. "Your Majesty, the Stone of Destiny." Well, Edward looks at the stone, and he looks at the army, and he looks at the stone again, and then he turns them around, and they are marched back up to Scotland, returning to Scone, where they spend a considerable period of time searching through the grounds here, torturing monks, looking for something. What are they looking for? Well, I don't know, but it is worth noting that early records of the stone described it as being made of carved marble. As you can see, this is not carved and it is not marble. In fact, it has been described, we'll have to apologise for the peacocks that are calling in the background. The stone has been described as being remarkably similar in both its size and its shape to a medieval toilet seat. There is a suggestion that Edward had been tricked. He knew he'd been tricked, however, he could never admit it. And so for the next 700 years, every king and queen of England and then the United Kingdom has possibly sat on a Scottish toilet when they have been getting crowned. Regardless, the original stone, which was kept in, or the stone that was given to Edward, was kept in Westminster Abbey for 700 more than 700 years before being returned to Scotland at the tail end of the 20th century, and it is now housed in Edinburgh Castle. This replica is here just to remind us of Scoon's place in the story. And interestingly, there is a campaign going on just now to try and have the Stone of Scoon, the Stone of Destiny, returned here, or to Perth nearby, where it originated.